Okay, everybody. So today in my video, I want to talk about the seven core components of AI agents and agentic workflows. Just pre-warning, this video is going to be kind of long a little bit, not a little bit longer than my kind of normal. Just like hit it real quick. Um, but I really want you guys to really understand what AI agents are really made of and comprised of, and kind of really kind of break those things down. Right now, you have a lot of different even AI developers really just doing a lot of just automations, right? Like N8N and just different things where it's just automations and like a chatbot attached to automation. That's not necessarily an AI agent. An AI agent um, can use automations, but it's not necessarily agentic. Really, like the agentic really is it being able to perform actions, being able to think through and reason and work through tasks. So that is really the core. So there's logic. It's not just following a script where it's saying I need to do this at this time, and boom boom boom, here you go. Okay, so now let's get started. And I'll be using this diagram and we'll kind of be going through it. So we're going to just right now talk about the first element. So the first element we want to talk about is perception and input. So this is what you normally see, like when you are going on. So this is a screenshot of the Grok interface, or if you have like ChatGPT or just different like Claude. This is where you're going to kind of be inputting information in. And also it could also be information that the agent is getting from APIs or even video, right? So video APIs, it could be scraping the web for information, but this is just basically how the agent is able to kind of perceive the world and being able to actually exist out in time and space. So, also event listeners are a big key of how it can perceive the world. So it's kind of listening for things and that are changing in its environment. So the second one that I want to talk about really is memory. So this is memory is very key, right? So I'm going to break it down between short term memory and long term memory. So normally, when you think about short-term memory, you're thinking more about more of that context. When you are building, building an agent, and you're putting in code, you actually are looking at like more of the context, and you're adding in like a system message and saying, "Hey, you are an expert in this," and you're adding information into the short term memory. But a lot of times people are not actually really thinking also about the long term memory and how an AI agent can use short term and long term memory together, right? So long term memory can be think about more of like a database, so it can be a vector database. I personally like to use a Supabase because they actually have a really good vector database within their platform. So that's really what I use. But Pinecone is also a very good one. And this is where you can store information about your user, or just different information that the agent can pull from that database to then be put into short-term memory. And so Google recently actually just released a paper. It's called Titan, and they really kind of broke down how kind of more of a new way of thinking about short-term memory and long-term memory working together. So it and I'll just kind of break down just a little bit. But basically, it was all around surprise. So their whole thing is that when the agent receives information that's new and surprising, it will log that and file that information into long-term memory, so then it can be later recalled into short-term memory. So it's very unique, and this is one of the most important parts of an agentic system, is really memory management, right? So it's not good enough to just put an information into long term or short term. You have to be able to understand what is the logic around being able to recall long term memory and put it into context into short term memory. So the next part is reasoning, and so this really just kind of goes down and thinking about, like, how does the agent decide what to do next based on heuristics or just AI driven planning models. So it's thinking about, okay, what is the next thing I need to do. So it's creating a plan, step by step. I need to do this, and then kind of also reflecting on that as well. And then this really just kind of just goes straight into, honestly, learning and adaptation. It's just reasoning through these steps, creating a plan, and then thinking about, oh, actually, was that actually a good thing? Do I need to go back and create another plan and re look at, like, how I'm going to approach this, even before it actually starts to solve that problem or complete that task. And one thing that's very, very important about agentic systems, it really is about um, it really is about performing tasks and doing something, right. So it's just not about just answering a question, right, but like actually being able to perform actions and be able to learn and be a knowledge worker. um, Also, there's different methods when it comes to learning, using like supervised or unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. And so you actually see right now, especially with OpenAI's like O3 model and DeepSeek, you're seeing a lot of this actually now just in the architecture of the LLM. Normally, like, you would have to do a lot of this stuff outside of the architecture of the LLM, but now some of this is actually just being a part of the LLM of itself. And just remember too that AI agents are not LLMs. They're it's a part of these components, but it's not an LLM. Um, Also, now we'll go down more into the action and execution. So it's reason, it's created a plan about what to do. It's learning and kind of adapting, maybe adjusting that plan. And now it's actually now ready to perform that action. So this could be, it's going out into the web and searching information using Google, using different APIs, to actually do things. Maybe it's also updating information into a database, just different things, pulling information down, just doing CRUD operations, right? So it's performing actions. And that's very, very key when it comes to especially differentiating between like a chatbot and an AI agent or agentic system. It's being able to actually perform actions and do things. Um, and now we're just going to really kind of just talk about the communication layer. And this is also kind of similar to just like the up top, how we have the interface, where it can input information, but then it can also then output information, how it really interacts with the user, and gives you that information. This could also be done through text message. So my AI agent can actually text me, and also agents can also email you. And so they're going out getting information and maybe doing a report, and now it's actually sends you an email, right? So it's just different ways of communicating with the user, because it's our knowledge worker, so we need to be able to interact with it in some form of fashion, and that is also a big part of that. The last piece, is very, very crucial. This could and is security and ethical considerations. So with security, this part is it could actually just be authentication. You want to be able to be getting information. From that agent, and it knowing that it's secure, that agent knows that it's not just sending out to random people the information. So you actually wanted to make sure that it's very secure. So the way you build it, it could be like a cloud, and you're deploying it on a Next.js app or something like that, where you're putting in authentication in your interface. And there's just many different ways to do that. And then just the other piece, of course, is a bias and fairness. That's just a big part of when you are building these systems. As developers, it is very, very important that we make sure that we consider it safety. When we're building these systems. So that's really the seven kind of core pieces of an AI agent. And and there's different other pieces that can kind of go into these things, and break down even further. And maybe even on another video, I can actually show you how to actually how to implement some of the code to all these different components, because all these components working together is what creates a good agentic system. So if you want to learn more, just let me know, send me a message, tell me what you think, and I will see you on the next video.